my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 4 of this collections unboxing. This next collection is one I'm really excited to get, actually. Probably, maybe even the best collection throughout this unboxing. I couldn't wait, so I had to do it early. I was thinking, should this be the finale? But no, it's going to be part 4. And this collection is a collection of Dick Briefer's Frankenstein. So if you're not familiar, Dick Briefer was a artist and writer who created a character called Frankenstein. Basically, Frankenstein's first appearance was in Prize Comics number 7, 1940, making this character the very first time that Frankenstein appears in comics. And he even signed his name back then as Frank N. Stein. That was how he wrote his name on in the credits for the comic. And Frankenstein was not a scary story originally. It was actually a humor comic. And the origin story of Frankenstein was that there was this mad scientist, typical mad scientist, that wanted to create an evil monster. He felt like he was bored with his life. He needed to create some evil monster to send out into the world. And so he thought, he was like, his cat had knocked over some book, and it was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So he's like, oh, perfect. And he basically, makes this Frankenstein monster. He goes to get, goes to the local mortuary to get some get some body parts. And it's funny, it's almost like they kind of make it really funny, because he's like doing it as like a grocery list. I need 2 of these, and oh, I need 1 of this, and how much is this? And it's, oh, by pound. It's like, it's just very grocery shopping kind of way of buying body parts. And so he makes his little monster. But he has to make it evil, okay? So he gets like this rabbit, okay? And he makes this special serum that will take whatever it injects and make them the most evil form of what they are. Basically, makes them the opposite of what they are. So this cute little fluffy bunny, he injects it with this serum, and the bunny becomes evil. Like, evil bunny. Okay, so then he's like, oh, perfect. So then he injects it into his Frankenstein monster, and which he just calls Frankenstein. But of course, this monster was made out of evil parts. Like, it's just like evil things put together. So it has the opposite effect. It instead makes this monster into something incredibly good. Okay? Basically, he sends his monster off into the town to try to wreak havoc. But instead, the monster comes back, and it's like rescued some birds, and it's like, it has like little, all these little cute little animals that it's gathered, instead of wreaking havoc on this town. So the owner, the mad scientist guy, is so upset. He's like, oh, I gotta destroy my creation. It's totally gone wrong. And one of the little animals that he brought back, I think it was a goat, knocks over something, and there's a big fire. And so Frankenstein, the monster, he's going to get destroyed, but because of the fire, the mad scientist is like, hey, you gotta save me, get me out of here. But Frankenstein monster is like, okay, wait, I will, but I have to save all these cute little funny animals first. So he's saving all these animals, but then it's too late by the time he gets back to the castle to save the mad scientist. And that's it. That's the story. Mad scientist gets killed, I guess. Basically, the house collapses on him. And the monster is now on his own, and he has to make his way in the world. And it's a very cute story. It sounds horrible that he gets killed, but but other than that, it's a very cute story. Frankenstein the monster basically goes around and has different adventures, like silly things that happen. And each of these books, so this is Frankenstein number 15, and each of them have basically like, you know, several stories inside, very short stories. They're about 8 pages long each. And, you know, they're very humorous situations. Like, you know, in one of them he gets married and then he realizes that his wife is trying to change him into something that he's not. And he has to get rid of his wife and stuff. And, you know, things like that. It's just like silly stories. Another one, he ends up washing his clothes and they shrink. So when he, in order to fit into his clothes, he's like, oh, what am I going to do? So he makes a serum to shrink himself, to fit into the clothes. And he basically goes to this new town with this shrunken body and these clothes, and everyone thinks that he's Frank Sinatra because they hear Frank is coming to town. And yeah, he still looks ugly, but all the girls swoon over him. That's kind of cute. So this is Frankenstein number 15. And then we have Frankenstein number 30. And by this point, they changed up the format. So the first few issues of Frankenstein were, as I said, comedic. This is where they made it more horror. They decided to change it up, make it a horror title. You can see Frankenstein's doing mean things there. And he's more horrific looking. He was more cutesy originally. So that's Frankenstein number 30. Then we have Frankenstein number 14. And again, this is where it's still comedic. And you can see he's kind of like, he is weird looking, but I think he has like a nose in the middle of his forehead. Yeah, but he's, this is when it's still comedic. And this is, again, back to, these aren't in any particular order. So this is Frankenstein number 26. And this is where it's, you can see it's like a horror title at this point. And he's always part of tragedy and all that kind of stuff. This looks like a Moby Dick version. Okay, now the last few books are all slabs. And what happened was Heritage Auctions had pretty major sale, their prime auction, and it was huge. They had some pretty massive books, massive sales. But then they had their weekly auction at the same time. So all the focus was on the prime auction, and the weekly auction really didn't get much attention. However, they did have a collection of Frankenstein books. Just so you know, Frankenstein in a 3.0 had just sold for $2,600 or $2,800. I got all of these books. So 3.0 Frankenstein number 1 sold for $2,600. I got all these books for $2,000 total. So this was a steal. You'll see. Okay, so we got, first one is Frankenstein number 30. 13, I should say. Got him with all the ghosts and stuff. And just a really cute cover. Nice yellow cover as well. And so these would be all Dick Briefer covers and art and story. Then we have Frankenstein number 4. I like this one. They're all singing. It's kind of cute. I think that's his wife. The one that, you know, his wife is a character who, her job is she sells creepy things. And he needed some spiders for his house. So when she came, they fell instantly in love. But later she was trying to change him and make him more of a polite society kind of guy. He didn't really like that. But this is Frankenstein number 4. This is from 1946. And we have Frankenstein number 3. Again from 1946. So I like all the little Frankensteins. And it's a off-white pager, 46. The Frankenstein didn't come out that often. I think it's every 2 months. It was like really, really not very often that it came out. Then we have Frankenstein number 2. And this is visually what happens when, the calamity of his origin story, where the mad scientist lab is getting destroyed, and there's the mad scientist guy. And what does it say? Dick Briefer story, cover and art, 1946. And the last one is Frankenstein number 1 in a 4.0. So this is a full grade higher, and I got it for almost $1,000 cheaper, and I got all those extra books with it as well. So I thought that was a pretty big steal. I was quite excited. So yeah, so this one is Frankenstein number 1, prize publications summer of 1945, and it's the origin of Frankenstein, Frank Sinatra parody. And that was the story that I was telling you about, where they think he looks like Frank Sinatra. And you can tell, like, they really, he does not look like Frank Sinatra. Well, maybe in certain lighting he might, but I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I was quite excited about getting this one. This is not an easy book to find. So it just happened that there was a couple auctions just recently where I think 3 copies in the last few months had come up. That's not normal, but it worked out for me because I was able to get this one at the best price. So yeah, I was quite excited about this. Now this one is not a perfect copy. It is a 4.0, and I think the main reason is there's this little piece out right up here. If it wasn't for that, actually, it's a pretty solid copy. You can see, like, it's a black, very dark cover, so spine ticks really do show. Like, but there's 4 deep ones there. But other than that, it's actually quite nice presenting. I really do love this book. I think it's such a cool book. So I'll show you the back. Get some microscope, free microscope. And yeah, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video and this collection of Frankenstein books. I'm actually working on getting the rest of the series. It's a fairly long series. I think it's like 30 some odd issues. So to get all the series is quite challenging, but I think I'm about halfway there now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.